Welcome to the press conference for Jack Draper. Let's fire away.
How was it for you, Jack?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously different playing on centre court. I was expecting court two. I felt like my preparation has been great. Didn't know what to expect from Elias Ymer, but he came out firing. He was playing a great level. I think people have the narrative that only the top 100 players in the world or top 50 players in the world or top 20 players play great tennis, I think the world's top 200 play or 300 play unbelievable on their day. And it was a really tough match. He was fired up. He came out firing, and I was trying to find my level, trying to find how I could, try and understand his game and stuff. And I think I did a good job in the end to come through.
Did you feel at all tight about the scale of the occasion?
No, not really. I think confidence comes from preparation. I feel like, I've been building a lot all the time recently on the practice court. I feel like I'm hitting the ball incredibly well. There was certain times in the match today where, I think because we don't often play on big courts and haven't experienced centre too much. It's a different feel. It's not like the practice courts at Orangi. So there was times where I did, find it a little bit difficult, but I think towards the end, especially when the lights came on, maybe it was getting a bit dark as well at a certain point. So it was almost, without knowing it, you kind of get used to playing in a certain way and thinking that's normal. Whereas when the lights came on, it felt like all of a sudden it was so easy to see the ball, and I think my level went massively higher in the fifth set because of that. Like my serve, my returns, and just the way I was playing. So happy with the way I played, and privileged obviously to be on centre.
How different does it feel though, like coming here as a seed and more of a top player compared to your previous times here when you were still coming up and trying to find your way?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously only been here a few times, made the final of the juniors, played obviously against Djokovic. That I was here for like a day then, so very quick, and then made second round the time before. But it was funny, like when I arrived, I went to the changing rooms. There's two changing rooms, I went to the changing rooms upstairs, got all my locker, all my stuff, got everything I needed, got everything sorted. That's what you sort of do as a player. You get your locker and you're happy with it. And then the guy said, "Oh no, you're in the wrong locker room. You've got to go downstairs because you're seated now." And I was like, "Okay." So no, it was a great feeling to obviously come here seated, and just feeling like I belong a little bit more with the top players in the world. That's exactly where I want to be. And I haven't really thought too much of it. I just been cracking on.
How would you describe your relationship with Cameron? Yeah,
I mean, I think we have huge respect for each other, for one. We've practiced together so many times, been a part of Davis Cup together. I wouldn't say we're extremely close, but we definitely support each other. We definitely have a great relationship. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup against him because we both know each other's games. We know each other personally, so it's definitely going to be a tough match, and I think it's going to bring out a really good level because, like I said, we know each other so well.
Andy, did you?
Is there an extra rivalry now between the pair of you, now British number 1 and 2?
I mean, I haven't really thought about it too much, but obviously, he won't like the fact that I'm British number 1 now. I'm a lot younger. Obviously got Dan and Cam. Obviously Andy might be stopping soon, but Dan and Cam definitely probably won't like seeing me, being British number 1, and I think that creates a really healthy rivalry and environment. Like I said, I think we all have great respect for each other, and we all want to see each other succeed and do well. And it's nice to practice with them when I can, but for sure, we're all competitors, we're all individuals, and we want to win. We want to do the best we can. So I think it's going to be a really competitive match on Thursday, and there won't be any love lost for sure.
Sounds like a thriller Thursday because you've got you and Cam, Katie and Harrop, Andy Murray's last ever match at Wimbledon, Jacob Fernley against Djokovic. We'll just talk about that. It's going to be quite general election aside, it's going to be quite an interesting day, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be. You know, it'll be interesting to see what courts we're all on. I think, you know, it's obviously tough for Andy to pull out today, but that would be great that he's playing doubles with Jamie. Obviously, me and Cam's match, that would be a good match to watch, I think. Jacob playing Djokovic, I think, you know, there's a few guys who have gone to university that I spent lots of time with when I was younger who were, you know, top players in the under 12, under 14, and they just probably weren't ready to go pro. You know, Jacob Fernie's one of those who's, you know, you look at his results, he hasn't lost many matches on the 25s and the challenges, and I think he'll be someone who rises up very quickly in the rankings. So I think it'll be interesting to see how he gets on against Djokovic. I think he's an amazing player, and he's a good guy too. And obviously Katie, you know, playing incredible tennis. She backed up her title at Nottingham, won today. So I think it'll be a great day for sure.
Jack, sorry if you've already been asked something similar. I came in a bit late, but is it difficult, this quite pronounced transition? People are suddenly, with Andy's situation today, particularly making it look like a passing of the torch. Is it difficult? Everyone's suddenly looking to you, kind of, you know, you're the British number one. You filled that void. That's a pretty big space to actually fill.
100%. I mean, someone just asked me about it. You know, like, I think it's going to be tough to emulate what Andy's achieved. You know, it's obviously unbelievable. He's won here a couple of times. He's been part of that Big Four era who are just winning constantly. And you know, I haven't thought about that too much. You know, my goal is to keep on doing the right things, keep on doing what I'm doing. I'm improving fast. I'm gaining confidence all the time, and you can't think about that too much, because otherwise it will just drag you down. You got to think of what's important, you know, and that's to wake up every day and try and get better. And you know, I do believe if I do all the right things, if I try and, you know, stay mentally solid and physically keep on getting better, like I think that showed today. You know, I've put in a lot of work to get to the point where, you know, 5 sets is absolutely fine. You know, if I just keep on improving, keep on doing my best, then I don't see why I can't be a great player like Andy has been.
Do you take any interest in politics?
No.
So you won't be watching any of the news leading up to Thursday's election?
No. I mean, it's a crazy busy time for us tennis players. There's not much TV watching. There's not much time to sort of be thinking about that. But obviously it's really important. So we'll see.
Has there ever been a time in your career when you weren't like laser focused on yourself, when maybe you were looking at other people and comparing yourself to them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's a really tough transition. You know, when you're younger, you come out of the juniors, you don't really know what to expect out of the men's game, and then all of a sudden you go into the futures and the challenges, and in the middle of nowhere, and you're kind of confused. You're thinking, oh, this isn't what I signed up for, and you sort of realise how tough it is. And yeah, at that point, my head was all over the place. Like, for years, I was trying to understand things. I was trying to work on how I could sort of just get better, but it was really mentally difficult, especially being sort of my personality as well. Like, I wanted success, but I wasn't, you know, I maybe wasn't sure how hard I wanted to work for it. But obviously, after the experiences I had with certain injuries and certain, you know, times where, you know, I was told by people how good I could be, but then wasn't fulfilling it, and all these sorts of things, you know, I had to look at myself certain times and really try and understand how I could change, you know, because I think, especially in this sport, it's tough because you have to be so mature so young, and if you're not, then you're going to struggle. So yeah, definitely, I'd say from last summer, you know, a lot of things changed in my life, off the court, on the court, and became very, very sort of focused on what I need to do.
Any further questions?
One more.
Go quick.
So you talked a lot about your returning and standing in closer and trying to take the ball early. Just what has been the challenge of that, and what have you had to like overcome to be effective at doing that?
Yeah, I mean, especially when Wayne came on board. You know, that's one area that, you know, I had to really work on at the start when I came on tour. You know, guys weren't really, they were going to my forehand return, and I felt like a lot of times at the start of the year and the end of last year, you know, they're just sliding me wide, and I'm hitting my backhand, I'm hitting it well, but guys have good enough forehands just to open out the court, and also I'm running a hell of a lot more. You know, it's, if you're standing way behind the baseline, it's tough to come up, it's tough to be aggressive. And yeah, like when Wayne came on, we did a few practice weeks, and you know, I tried to do it you know, at the end of the clay court season, and that's why I was really poor. You know, I was all over the place because it's tough. You're seeing the court in a completely different way. All of a sudden, you know, guys are still serving fast, and you haven't got the same time as you used to have. So you have to be almost quicker with your actions. So I had to practice it all the time and get it wrong so many times. And I think, you know, I'm really proud of the way that's transitioned pretty quickly. I feel like, you know, I'm returning well, and I feel really comfortable up the court, and it's helping me to shorten the points as well. So, you know, I think hopefully improvements that everyone can see.
Did you have to change much in terms of like shortening your swing, or?
Yeah. I mean, of course, you can't take as big a swings. Like if I think Elias was serving big second serves today, you know, serving 100 miles an hour on the second serve, and you have to be really quick. Andy's someone, especially, you know, who stands up the court on the return and so compact with his swings. You know, if you're standing back, you can sort of have a big swing at it, whereas, you know, not only is the court different because you're standing closer, but you have to shorten your swings. You have to try and almost use all the pace off the serve instead of creating your own pace. So it was definitely a big transition, that one.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
We'll let Jack get to bed.